starting, so I'm going to try to cover a lot today in a little bit of time. Our main goal today is just show you how to set up searches. We talked about buyers, the buyer consultation. This original training was a little earlier in the month originally, and then we had to bump it. So we're now close to the end of the month, but I just want to show you how to set up those searches. I'm also going to show you a cool little tips and tricks inside of BAREIS. So I'm going to start with my least favorite and then move it to my favorite program, and then we'll kind of go from there. So if I can find there we go. Let me get you guys off my screen. As always, if you have any questions as we move through this process, feel free to interrupt me. I do have the chat window open, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that as well, but never hesitate just to unmute yourself and be like, I've got a question. All right, so my least favorite for property searches is OneSuite. No real reason for that. It just is my least favorite. So and I like the idea of setting your clients up in one portal and then setting them up on a search in another portal, because if they log or if they opt out of something, they still have the other one pestering them a little bit and reminding them that you're in real estate. So the main goal of this training today is to show you the property search. So this wouldn't be like the market update or anything like that, just the property search. So when you go into OneSuite, in case you're like, Amy, how did you get to OneSuite? Well, I went to my one login, so the little one on my computer screen, hit login. It's under my frequents, but if it wasn't under your frequents, you just go to apps, or you could type in here SUITE. That would bring up OneSuite. So that's how I got to this page right here. From here, you can go to property search. This is where you can search by properties. You can search listings. You can do a map search, my listings, or office listings. This might be a good way here if you're looking for open houses. You can really easily click on my office listings and scroll down and see what's pending, what's active as far as office listings go. So this would be a great way to try to search out those active listings to show to potential open houses. Okay. In addition, you probably want to reach out to the agents too and see who's got stuff getting ready to come on, because again, properties are starting to move quickly. We looked at that the other day, that there was only like 84 active properties in Vacaville, which is really low for our inventory. So anyways, there's what you find under office listings. Yours would be under my listings. You can do map search or search listings. So if we go search listings here, you can do by address, you can do, on market, active, coming soon, pending, right? So you've got lots of options there. You can put in street numbers, street names, address, city. This would be like if you just wanted Vacaville, VACA. I can't spell, that's right though. You can plug that in there. Maybe we want something that's 3 bedrooms or more. We just plug it in. Maybe we want something that's 2 bathrooms or more. Keep in mind that if you put in that you want well, they want 3 bathrooms, but one could be a half bathroom. So I'm going to put 2.5. If you put something in the half bathrooms, it's not going to pull up any properties without half bathrooms. So if it was like a 3 full bathrooms and you wanted a half bath, it's not going to show you those properties. So I try to just avoid completely the half bath category. You could sort by, so I usually do full baths. You could also just do total. You'd probably want to do total bathrooms down here is probably really what you're looking for. This will give you, if you plugged in 2, it'll pull in like 1.5 bathrooms. And in case you're like, Amy, what's 1.5? Well, it means it doesn't have a shower. Okay, so it's got a toilet and a sink, but no shower. In other states, there's like 1/4 bathrooms or 3/4 bathrooms, but we don't actually have that in our area of California. So we just operate on wholes and halves. So I'd probably put in 2 there, even though it might pull up 1.5 bathrooms. Plug it in there, or you could do it under full baths. Lot size or acreage. So this is probably square footage versus acreage. So if I wanted something with just acres, I could put in 1 here and it would search anything over 1 acre. Keep in mind, you don't have to put in something in the 2, or you could not put in something here. If you wanted everything up to 1 acre, be really easy. We just put the 1 in the other column. Now it's going to pull anything from 0 to 1 acre. Okay. Living type, price reduced. So you've got some more search categories. So this one's not super intuitive. It doesn't have 100 different things that you can search. And we hit the little search button once you've put your criteria in there. Once we have that search pulled up, this is where we could go in and hit save search. And report name, we would put it like Amy search. We're going to hit save and close. Now, if I go into my contacts and leads, if I go down here, we're going to sort by first name. There we go. I just hit it twice because I got impatient. Don't be like me and get impatient and click things multiple times. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to scroll down and find myself, and I always plug myself into everything. So just know that I always do that so that I can test run things on myself. Here you've got personal information, sent emails, sent text messages, campaigns, activity reports, market reports, campaign tags, contact activities. Somewhere down here, we should be able to save the search to the contact, but maybe not. So let's see here. These are marketing. Oh, here, listing alerts. So if I wanted to set them up for a listing alert, you'd go create reports, listing alerts, report name. Oh, I've got to put in a new one here. I thought it would let me pull in the save search, but it doesn't. This is why this one's just not very smart. So I would put your new home. It's going to be a listing alert, criteria. Here's where you could plug in that same criteria here. All right. If you go, well, anyways. So here's where I could put like listing price 700,000. So we're basically doing the same thing I just did. So again, you don't have to put a minimum and a maximum. You can do either both or one or the other, or just leave it blank. Property type, maybe we only want single family residences. Let's see, we want them in Vacaville. This one doesn't even give you the option to search by like county, in case you wanted the whole county, but let's say we just wanted Vacaville. If you wanted more cities, we could plug in more. So if we wanted like Vacaville and Dixon, we can just keep filling in names there. And we want 3 bedrooms and we want 2 full bathrooms minimum. Let's see, we want, that's all. We're going to hit OK. There we go there. It pulls in the criteria. It assigns the contact here. Here's where you can put in your initial intro. So you can type in here. Here's what they will see in the first email. So you may want to put something in there like, here's some properties that may match your criteria. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see. How often do you want the report sent to them? Every 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, once a month, or immediately? Do you want them to get a text notification also? Probably so. That's kind of cool, right? Do you as the agent want to be copied on that report? Yes or no? Include open house notifications. No, I don't really want my people going through open houses. Maximum number of listings per email. And when does the report expire? Okay. Once we've got that there, we're just going to hit save and send, or you can preview it. So again, this is out of OneSuite. Here's what it looks like. It gives a picture and a little summary of each one. They can print view a map, schedule a tour, mark that they're interested in it. They can click on it and see more photos. Not all the functionality is working because I'm in the preview. So this is kind of what this one looks. If we want a detailed version, we can click here for a more detailed version. Okay, here's that, right? You may be interested in these properties. So that is how that one's set up. Once you're done, you're going to hit save and send. Ta-da. So that's how you do it. So now it said that, hey, we're set up for this marketing report, this listing alert. Okay. Any questions about setting that up in OneSuite?
No.
All right. Again, this is my least favorite option. And just for the record too, by the end of next week, I will assign some trainings for our new Boomtown system, because I think you guys are going to like that. And so we'll do some trainings on that one as well, so I can answer your questions and help you figure that one out. All right. So least favorite is OneSuite. You can set up searches in there. This is what I like to do for my CRM, right? So my contact relationship manager, that's where all their information goes. This is where their notes go. This is where my campaigns go out of. I'm alerted of their birthdays and everything through here. If I had a conversation with them in here, I would log in and keep notes on in this system. This is the, that CRM is kind of what, if you're going to transition over to Boomtown, it would replace this OneSuite CRM. Okay. I think Boomtown is going to be a little smarter than OneSuite, although both of them are good options because they're both free. Okay. All right. So we're going to move from OneSuite and go to RealScout. The way that you get to RealScout, same way you go to your OneSuite login, type in Scout, and you've got RealScout Home Search. Okay, it's going to open up a window that looks like this. It's kind of fun. Oh, I need to change that. Hey, Abby, since you're on the call, can you make a note that the Brittany needs her address updated because they sold Finchley Court? I can help you with the new address. All right. So here's this dashboard. I put all my clients into here because all of my clients are either going to get set up on one of two searches. Either they're getting set up on a market report where they're kept updated. If they bought a home, they're being kept up to date of what's going on in their neighborhood. And if they haven't bought a home, I've got them on a property search, or they will be. We're slowly working on getting this all set up. It takes a while with 500 people. So let's search for me. Maybe. There we go. We're going to go Amy Pichard test. You can import all of your people in here, so you don't have to like add them in. And here's where you can set up listing alerts right here under email alerts. You can also set them up with market activity reports, and we'll go over that a little bit more either at the end of the buyer's month or into the seller's month. I'll show you how to set up these market activity reports to go out on a monthly basis. This would be one of those 36 plus touches that you're going to do on an annual basis. This is one of those monthly touches here. So this will be 12 things that they get alerted on. But let's show you how to set up a property search. So we're going to go add listing alert. If you select cross MLS search, it just gives you basic criteria, bedrooms, bathrooms. I think you get acreage there, but you lose specific items such as like single story versus 2-story. I think you can't search if it's got a pool or not. So there's things like that that are more detailed that you have to actually go in and select your MLS. Okay, so like MLS residential, BAREIS MLS multifamily. So you have to be a little bit more specific for more criteria. I think under that advanced criteria, it'd be like senior homes and things like that. So we're just going to set it up on a cross MLS search so you can see what that one looks like. Here's where you're going to select your client. We're in here already, so it automatically selects me. But if you wanted somebody different, you could go in there and select somebody different. And then you're going to hit start searching. Okay. Here's where you can search. It's got a map search. So you've got a couple of options. We can fill in information here. You can add school names, cities, zip codes right here using Pitney Bowes geographical boundaries for zip codes. So this is where you could put in like Vacaville. Right. Or maybe we want Dixon. Right. So now it's limiting our properties just to those cities. Now, the other option, but see, okay, so here's the thing, right? It's eliminating the stuff that's outside of the city areas. So things like out here between the 101 and the 80 and the 505, that's technically Vacaville addresses because it's country property. It's in the county. It's not being included in this search. Okay. And if you're like, oh my gosh, Amy, how do we include that? Well, there's a couple of options. One is we could go like, hey, we want 95688. 88. Well, it still kept us pretty close to the city boundaries, because again, this is using the Pitney Bowes geographic boundaries. So it still doesn't help us a whole lot, although it may be that the rest of it, okay, let's try, who knows a zip code for Dixon? 956. I feel like it's 95, but I don't think that's right. Let's see. Nope, that was Woodland. Anybody, Dixon? Going once?
I can look it up really quick. Hold on.
All right, we're gonna go, and then, I was trying to think what Winters was. 94599. No, I don't think that's it. All right. Nine, 5, 6, 9, 4. All right. Let's see.
95620. Oh wait, is it different?
No, that sounds right.
Okay.
Hold on. All right, let's try 95620. There we go. Now we've got more of that gap in the between. And then if we wanted 95694, that's going to add in like the winter. So you can search by zip code and then it fills in those gaps versus the city. The other option is we can come over here to the map and say, hey, we want the map in full screen. And now, in addition, we could come over here to these shapes and say, hey, we want a geometric shape, and you can outline some additional areas. That's going to get us like done again in Arbuckle. And then maybe over here, you got the square. So maybe we want, if you would just draw a square, magic. You've got a circle, so you can draw a circle. And if we want to edit any of those shapes, I think we can do it this way. So you can click it. You can click cancel to undo changes, drag handles or markers, so we could make it smaller, right? So you can edit those shapes and hit save. Or if we wanted to delete something, we would click it here, and now that shape is gone. So you can draw on the map as well as pinpointing. So you've got a couple of different options there. Once you're done, you're going to hit minimize, and notice that it does our shapes plus whatever we put in here. So it's pulling all those properties inside of either those shapes or the zip codes. Okay, you can put in the number of bedrooms. Now here's where we want like only, we're going to go 4-bedroom homes with 3 bathrooms. You can zero in on the type of property. Maybe we just want single family homes, so we're eliminating townhomes. And over here, you've got list price. So maybe we want to max out at 750,000 square feet. That would be the size of the house. And again, you can do minimum. Maybe you're like, they need something that's at least 1,500 square feet, or you could max it as well. Maybe they need 1,500 to 3,500. Okay, so we're just trying to narrow down their search for them on whatever criteria it is that the buyer specified. And then our lot size, these are in square feet, or you could hit this button here to change to acres. Now it's acres. Okay, so you can toggle between those two and put in min max if you want to. It's also got year built, only homes with photos, only homes with open homes. You can plug in specific MLS numbers. You've got some options there. Once you got that, you can say, hey, let's view results. Here it shows you those results. And then once you're happy with your search, you just hit save to client. Here it's going to pick the client. What do you want to name it? Your new Solano County home. And how often do you want it to go out? Do you want it to go out ASAP? Like the first option is daily. So that would be once a day, they're going to get an email with any new properties that came on the market. ASAP is if something comes on the market, they're going to get that email. Monthly is once a month. And then disabled is they aren't getting searches. Okay, if you do hand pick, then from the search, you can hand pick which ones actually go to them. Okay, it will explain these settings if you click on explain these settings. Okay, and you can select, like if I have daily selected versus ASAP, do I want it to go out in the morning or the afternoon? Okay, so if I selected afternoon and unselected, Now they're going to get one just in the afternoon on Sunday, morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or we could say, hey, we want it both in the morning and the afternoon on Sundays. Okay, if you want to copy yourself, you click this button here, or it's going to CC you. You can get them open house reminders before each weekend. If you don't like them that much and you're hoping they'll go to an open house and get picked off by another agent, send them that one. Or you could select ASAP. Okay, any questions about how to set that up or what those things mean?
Hey, Amy,
Yes.
you know, one of the things I've found with RealScout is it doesn't do any coming soons. Have you seen that on there before?
Yeah, I don't believe it filled. Okay, so hold on just a second because I'll show you, because coming soons are specific to BAREIS, not Metro, like other MLSs you actually can't do coming soons. So it probably doesn't provide it as an option under the basic search, but we'll show you here in a second how to set up the advanced search. All right, we're going to hit save on that one. So there, now we've saved that search. If we want to edit the filters or the settings, we can do that there. So there's like 1,200 properties. So I feel like I didn't sort this appropriately. Like I marked sold properties, not for sale properties. So I just came back in here to edit it, to update it for sale. And then I'm going to hit save again. All right, way better there. Now, do you want to send an alert now with all the unsent listings? You put the subject line and the email and hit send now, or you could say do not send yet. Okay, so that's how you would edit it. You just hit edit filters, or you could edit the search itself and change it from ASAP to daily by clicking that. And then once you're done, you just hit save and it'll update the changes to those settings. Okay. Now, if we want to go back to, I'm going to go back to me by just clicking my name. It takes me back to my profile here, or your client's profile. Here's where it's got that new listing search that I just set up, and it'll tell me when it sent it out last, and then also the schedule. So it's really easy just to toggle the schedule to a different setup there in the contacts information. You can view full criteria here. So like this one got sent out on April 27th, 2023. There was a match, April 26th. So it shows those. Also, if you disable an alert, you can pull those up. It's going to be red. So that's one that was disabled at one point. Okay. Now, if we want to set up a more specific search that I think will have the ability to look at coming soon, I could be wrong. We're going to hit add listing alert. Come down here, we're going to scroll down to BAREIS, and then you're going to pick what kind of property you want. I want residential, so I'm going to go BAREIS MLS for residential. And here's my client. I'm going to hit start searching. So here is my statuses. Let's see if we've got, it still doesn't give me a coming soon option though. Nope. So no, through RealScout, you don't have the option for coming soon. We're just going to go active.
Yeah, I had problems with that and the retirement community housing just seemed to be awkward. So
yeah, so once you're in residential BAREIS, if you come down to the bottom, you can add or remove search options. And through add or remove, you can add, like I added fireplaces. You can scroll down. Levels, which would be the stories, like for single family homes. I think it gives you, let's go down here, senior community. You can add that. You just click the little button and it will add that to your search, or if you unclick it, it takes it off. So you can add those in and hit done. So now if I wanted like senior community, yes. Now it factors out all the properties that don't fall into senior communities. Now, again, remember, this is only as accurate as the information as it's put into the MLS. So if agents screw it up, so you always have to kind of be careful with how specific you get, because agents might screw it up. So if I want like single stories in senior communities, now I've got level 1, And my buyers also want a fireplace because those are, like dinosaurs now. They're almost extinct and you can't find them. There we go. Single story homes with a fireplace in senior communities. I didn't do very many other filters. Like I didn't filter even like the city or anything. And here's where it has like your HOA fees in there. And then again, once you have your criteria, you just hit save to clients and you would save it the same way, but you have way more options going under the MLS but it's just going to pull that specific MLS area. Okay. So like it's only pulling areas specific to BAREIS, which is Sonoma, Napa, Marin, Solano counties. Mendocino also falls under BAREIS. So it's only going to pull from those counties versus going into Yolo County and Sacramento County. That would be Metro List. So if you wanted Metro List, you'd have to switch the search setup.
I've been able to pull stuff out of Winters and Woodland off BAREIS. Are they sharing it somehow or?
Yeah, and it's going to depend where the agents, what their primary MLS is when they inputted the listing. So if I inputted a listing into Winters and it was a senior community, it's going to pull it up in here versus if somebody was in Metro List primarily and entered the listing in Metro List, it may not show up.
Got it.
Yeah, it will overlap, but it's not complete.
Got it.
Because it's not pulling all the information together.
Yeah.
So, and it'll pull random stuff, but it all depends on kind of where that person resides, where the agent resides. Okay, so that's how you would set up those searches inside of RealScout. I do like how RealScout sends the emails, what the email looks like. It's very pleasing and easy to scroll. It's not clunky. It's easy to find those properties. So there's some good things in there, but yeah, like the coming soon, you're not going to find, but that also gives you the option that you could be logging in the BAREIS every morning and looking at what's been put in as coming soon. And then you can be like, hey, this one's not on the MLS yet, but it's getting ready to come on. Check this one out. And then you could kind of be like, oh, it didn't even pop up on my search yet. You could be the hero. Okay. Any other questions as far as RealScout goes? All right, so those are two of your options for sending out property reports or listing alerts for your buyers. I do recommend setting up any of your leads that you get that think they might be interested in buying a property, right? If you're hosting open houses, everybody that comes through that open house should get set up on a listing alert, even if they're non-responsive to you through, oh, sorry, I heard one of the chickens screaming and I had to process whether my dogs were inside or outside. All right. You would need to, even if they're not responsive to a phone call, text message, they're not responding to emails, I would still set them up on a property alert. So at least once a day or once a week, they're getting an alert from you, reminding them that, hey, I'm here to help you. And here's some properties that might match your criteria. It's also a good touch point where you could call them up and be like, hey, I set you up on a property alert under this criteria. Let me know if you want to change anything. And you could do a text message with the same information as well. And hopefully that'll solicit a response like, oh yeah, actually, we can go up to 650 instead of 600. Like hopefully they respond to that because they want to get the properties that they can buy. So the other option is going through BAREIS. BAREIS, to get there, in case you've never logged into BAREIS, you can go to BAREIS.com. And then you want to go member login, and it's Bay Area Real Estate Information Services is what BAREIS stands for. So it's BAREIS. Okay. And it's the acronym Real Estate Information Services. So in case you're trying to figure out whether it's EI or IE, you're going to log in. This gives you all of your tools. So if you need to like pay your account or go to BAREIS forms, there's all sorts of handy things. There's useful links. If you ever had a listing that's not going in the MLS right away, you would go to exclude your listing. These are these productivity tools like that glide that we talked about. during the Avid field trip. I use Home Light Listing Management a lot. Supra, if you want to manage your e-key or your lock boxes. Showing time, so you got lots of things in there. But we're going to go to BAREIS Plus. And BAREIS Plus does pull. The nice thing is that if you have somebody that's looking in multiple counties, this might be the way to go if they're bridging the gap over different MLSs and you need something more than just that basic search in RealScout. So RealScout will pull all the MLSs that we belong to, unless you need that specific, like you need to only do senior homes, and then it's only going to pull specific. But you could always set them up on 2 searches too. Inside of RealScout, you could set them up on one for Solano County and one for Yolo County, or whatever you want to do there. So here we go. We're going to go into contacts and prospects. Here's where you can set up your people. Oh, here's a little, we're going to go backwards for a second here. I apologize. We're going to go back to clients. When I went to clients here, just so you all know, here it says how many homes they viewed. This, I'm back in RealScout. Homes interested, emails open, active alerts they're set up for, disabled alerts. So like if I went to, hold on just a second. Tom Smith, homes viewed 2, homes interested 0, emails open 3, active alerts 1. So it shows you kind of when they were added and what they've been doing in there. And then let's go. Here, if you go to recent activity, so it opens up to email alerts when I go into that contact, and it shows me who's set up for what. Client profile is where you can edit their information, right? It's 50% complete. You can add likes or dislikes here. You can put in where their commute goes to so that they can look up how far it is to work from any homes that pop up. Under recent activity, here's where it shows like emails that went out to them. Whatever activity happened, it goes here. So you can see what they did if they clicked on listings. And then of course at the top, each time it shows how many homes they viewed last week, emails open last week, and interested homes over the life of their time in your CRM. Here's the homes that they viewed. So you can see exactly which homes that they viewed, what the homes are that they're interested in. If they marked that they were interested, if they threw any into their trash pile, it would go there. And here's some feedback, like this person liked the location of this Green Valley Road and they disliked the price, or they might dislike the floor plan and layout, but they like the location.
Amy, I have a question.
Yep.
Are these people that, like, you know how you said people at the open house that you meet and you add them into your system? If they're like not responding and like not opening the emails, like how long do you keep sending them that information?
Forever.
Forever. Okay.
Forever until they opt out. They're also going to get a phone call from me once a quarter, probably a text message from me once a quarter. I'm going to try to track them down on social media and interact with them once a quarter on their social media. They're going to get this email from me, and they're, you know, going to get something else from me a couple times a year as well.
Okay. And then at the open house, like I know you talked about their price that they would be able to buy. Are you like getting that information from them, or are you just basing it off of the home that they were at when you met them at the open house?
Yeah, so if we had a conversation and our conversation kind of took us into what price range they're looking at or what they're looking for in a home, maybe they walk through the open house and I was like, hey, Brittany, how did you like it? And they're like, oh, it was really cute, but we really need 4 bedrooms. Well, now I know they need 4 and not 3, right? So I'm just trying to be conversational and take notes. And then I'm going to use those notes to set up their search. If I didn't have much of a conversation with them, then I'll probably set up their search based on the home they walked through, like something similar to that. And then that way we can always, I can reach out to them and be like, hey, I can tweak it for you. What do you want me to change?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. So anyways, I just wanted to show that you kind of have all those insights in here inside of RealScout, which is kind of fun as well. All right. Back to BAREIS. All right. So here, to create a new contact, you're just going to hit create new contact. It's going to open up a window that looks like this. You're going to fill in. I don't worry about putting all of their information inside of BAREIS. I'm not using this as my contact relationship manager. I'm really just using this so that I can set them up for property searches. So I'm going to put in their name. I'm going to put in, you have to put in groups, and you're like, Amy, what are groups? If you click on the little piece of paper, it pops up all the different, they could be a prospect, client, vendor, personal, or other. Here's where I go. I just want them to show up when I look. So I'm going to check all and hit OK. I just want them to show up. You can put in their email. If they have a spouse or a significant other or a parent or somebody that's helping them with the home search, you can put in a CC email as well. So they will both get property updates. And that's usually all I worry about inside of BAREIS. I just need their name and their email so that they can receive searches. Then you scroll down here. Well, then I have to put like an email in here. All right. Once you have an email, see, I didn't have an email, so it didn't allow me to set them up for auto prospecting. Our goal is auto prospecting. So we're going to click this box here for auto prospecting. And then it's going to pop up a new box that says, hey, when do you want that to start? I want it to start immediately. When do you want it to end? It automatically defaults to a year out. And if they haven't bought a home in a year, you'll get a notification about 2 or 3 weeks before this date comes up next year. And it'll say, hey, you've got a client search that's about to expire. Do you want to continue it? Do you want to end it? What do you want to do? And then you can just like continue on. And then how often do you want that search to go? Do you want it to go ASAP? That would be, again, if a property comes up on the MLS, it's going to shoot them out an email right away with each listing that comes on. Do you want it once a day, weekly, or monthly? Okay, if I click like weekly, it's going to give me the option to say, hey, do you want it once a week, every 2 weeks? And then what day do you want it to go out on? And what time of that day do you want it to go out on? So maybe I want it to go out every 2 weeks. Oh, it's only going to let me go every 1 week on Wednesday at 4:40. Okay, so you can change that up. If you wanted to go weekly or daily, you can change that as well. You're like, Amy, what's the difference? Well, if I've got an active buyer that's ready to buy a house now, they're pre-approved for a property, they're actively searching as far as I can tell, I'm going to have those properties go out ASAP. I want them to be alerted every time something comes on because I want to make sure that my email comes through to alert them that there's a property coming on the market before they find it on Zillow. Okay. I want them to think I'm doing it for them. Okay, if I've got somebody that they're not pre-approved yet, maybe I met them at an open house, we're not interacting yet, I haven't been able to like really hone in the details, I'm probably going to send that one out daily. Like I know they're an active buyer, they want to buy a house, but they've got some things that they need to shore up before we can actually go look at properties. I want those to go out daily so they're getting a summary of the properties that come on, but I don't want them calling me 5 times a day to go see a property, just once a day. Okay, if it's somebody that's not quite ready to buy a home yet, you know, they're thinking, oh, we're probably 2 or 3 months out, then maybe weekly I want their search to go out just so they're kept up to date of what's coming on market. They can kind of see what the prices are doing, what homes are doing. They have access to the portal. That would be weekly. And monthly would be, you know, somebody that maybe is going to buy in a year. I might set them up for like a monthly search. Okay. Most of my people are probably either going to be ASAP daily or randomly weekly. Does it matter what day or time you have searches go out? If we're going monthly or weekly? Not really, but I'd probably have it go out like on a Friday. And that way they're made aware of, or even like a Monday, but probably a Friday. And that way kind of every Friday. By Friday, usually most of the properties that are hitting the market that week have come on. And that way, so I'd probably do it like Friday, maybe like 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock a.m. Okay. Or 12 o'clock p.m. Just so they're kept up to date and they can see all the new properties. Once you've made your selections, you're going to hit save. You can always change that later. And then in order for the email to go to the client, you also have to receive an email. So you're either going to say yes, daily summary, or use prospect schedule. So if you get a daily summary once a day, you're going to get a summary of all the properties that match that client's. And so like if it's ASAP, instead of you getting 20 emails a day for every property that comes on the market, you go daily summary. Or you could, if they were like weekly or monthly, you could say use the prospect schedule. Okay, if you use prospect schedule and it's set up for ASAP, you're going to get one every time they get an email. And include updates for price changes, status changes, or rejected listings. These are ones they've moved to rejected. I don't really want to be kept up to date of ones they've moved to rejected. I don't care about status changes. I'm mainly concerned about, hey, like keep me up to date for price changes. But if you took that off, it would just alert you of new listings that come on the market. Okay, the next one is send auto prospecting email to the prospect. We want to hit yes, newly matched. So now they're going to be updated for any properties that come on that match their search. If we again leave these boxes checked, it will also update them for these items as well. So if something in their cart has a price reduction or a price increase, they will be alerted as well. That could be handy. For rejected, it will also alert them. They usually don't care about their rejected listings, so I don't worry about that. And I don't want status changes either, because it also shows if they move to like pending or closed. So maybe price changes and newly matched listings. If there was a CC, we would do this one here to yes. So that would be if you had somebody else you also wanted to send that email to and get those alerts. And then your email report format, this might be fun to play with and send to yourself to figure out exactly what it is that you want. I'm going to go client one page. I don't know that it matters. I mean, it's all a different format, but they all have the ability to get more information or to look at all the photos. And here they were set up for auto prospecting monthly. If I wanted to change that, I would just click on this modify auto prospecting frequently. It's going to pop up that window again and allow me to modify how frequently they get the email. So that's setting them up for auto prospecting. Now, when I give them a search, that's they're going to get alerted and updated. If I want them to have access to the portal to be able to sort their listings and create their own searches, I would click this button here for client portal, which I usually do. I usually like them to be able to go in there, especially if you've got those people that are like have come through open houses, or you're not exactly sure what they're looking for. They're not super responsive. This is a good way to get them in there and have them creating their own searches or sorting listings so you can kind of see what they like. They'll get a client portal invitation, an email that just invites them to come into their portal. And then allow client to create searches in client portal. You can either turn that on or off. So either they'll have the ability just to see the properties that match the search you set up, and they can sort those into rejected and saved, or they can create their own searches as well. So you can decide whether you like that on or off if you're going to use BAREIS. And then client portal activity alerts. If you click this box, you'll receive notifications when the client goes into their portal and is sorting listings or adds one to the saved or creates a new search. So you can decide how many emails you want in your inbox. Here's your cart maintenance. Only display listings with the following statuses in the client portal and prospects cart. Okay, if they aren't checked, they'll be hidden. So I usually leave these all checked, because what happens is the client kind of was watching a property that was active, and then all of a sudden it vanishes if we don't have any of the contingent, pending, or closed checked. And then they're like, hey, Amy, there was a property on there that I was kind of interested in. It just vanished. What happened to it? So if you allow them to, see those, then they show up in their portal, and then they don't have to wonder what happened to it. So it's up to you whether you decide what shows up and what doesn't. And this reverse prospecting, this allows me as another agent, maybe I'm not their agent, but it allows me, I've got a property getting ready to come on the market. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in American Canyon under 600,000. I can search what other agents have set up for searches in the portal here. It won't tell me the client's name or anything, but it'll allow me to contact those agents so that I can say, hey, I've got a property getting ready to come on the market that might match one of the properties one of your buyers is looking for. And I can contact those agents ahead of time to let them know about that property. Okay, that's the reverse prospecting. It allows agents to do that for your client as well. Again, it doesn't give them any personal information or anything. It just allows them to pull up agents that have clients with the same criteria as the property specifics they put in. And allow email to agent, you hit yes, that's what pops up your email for those agents to contact you. Okay, any questions about any of those settings?
No.
Okay.
I like using berries.
What?
I like using the berries.
Yeah, I like using berries too, but I do like the way that the RealScout is displayed and comes across a little bit better than berries, but I do like both.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. The nice thing about berries is it pulls from all of the Berries Plus areas, which is Berries and Metro List and the Bay Area. So it pulls all around us, not just specific areas. So it's kind of handy that way. Once you've got everything in here, you're going to hit save. And because we have auto prospecting turned on and we don't have any searches set up, it's going to prompt us to create a new search. Okay, so once we hit save, it's going to say, oh, you need a search for this prospect. What do you want? And you have lots of different types. You could do a quick search, standard, custom, map, radius, address, listing number, or APN. I normally only use either the standard search or the map search. Okay, those are my two options that I utilize on a regular basis. That standard search operates very much like the search inside of RealScout did, where you have all the options, you select what you want. Just for kicks, I'm going to go to a map search so you can see what that looks like. And we're going to name this your dream homestead. Okay, so you want to keep in mind, they're going to see all the search names that you save in any of these programs. So you want to make sure it's appropriate and that it's something that causes them to want to move forward with the purchase of their home. It reminds them why they're doing this. We're going to hit submit once we've done those two things. And here it's going to bring up a map so that we can set up that search. Inside the standard search, you're going to see a list very much like RealScout. Inside the map search, it pulls up the map. And then you have your search criteria over here on the right-hand side. So to change that, we hit search criteria. Also, you can change the location of the map. Maybe your map is like way zoomed out, or maybe it's down in the Bay Area. You can change that location. So we could be like, hey, we want Dixon, California. You could also plug in a specific address. We're going to hit remove marker. And then we're going to zoom in on Dixon. Now on the map search, it's only going to show us properties that are on the map. Okay, and my search is set up funky for some reason, but that's okay. Here inside of search criteria, you're going to go to property type. This is why nothing's showing up on my map. It's because for some reason mine's set to mobile home. So I'm going to set it to residential. I'm going to hit OK. And then this here, if you're like Amy, when I pull up the map search and I go to the search and then I switch it over to the list format like you told me to, which I'll show you in a minute, it's showing me random properties from random spots in California. And that's because you have this include unmapped listings turned on. Okay, if you turn that on, like it's now showing me 3 unmapped listings. Those are ones that the agents chose not to map or not to share the address or whatever happened. And so it's going to pull those into my search. I generally just leave that off. I just want what's showing up on my map to show up in my search. Okay. If you want a subtype, here's where you do that. Maybe we just want single family residences, or maybe we just want 2 houses on a lot. You could also select multiple single family and 2 homes on lot. So just keep that in mind. If we select single family residences and somebody put one in as a 2 houses on lot, those properties are not going to show up if we just check single family residence. We can leave them all unchecked and then they will all show up, or we could go in there and select the ones that we want. So you could do either one. Here's where you can select the active if we want like active and coming soon. Bedroom count, maybe we need like at least 3 bedrooms. Again, this works the same as all the other ones. Total bathrooms 2. If you put in partial bathrooms, then it'll only pull properties that have at least 1 partial bathroom. You could do full bathrooms and you can put in a minimum. You don't have to put in a maximum, or you could put in a maximum like, hey, we don't want any more than 4 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms. So you could change that up. Here's where you could put in the price. So if we want something, maybe we only want properties 500 to 1.5. Okay. Area and districts. And again, be careful when you start getting into like these zones, because it's all in how well people put that information into the MLS, which isn't always accurate. Your living area, though, usually pretty accurate. So maybe you want homes that are at least 2,000 square feet. Okay, and maybe we want homes that have a lot size you can toggle between square foot and acres, but maybe we want at least 10,000 square feet lot sizes. You can search by county, city, zip code, pool association. If you're doing this along with me, you're like, Amy, I'm not seeing some of those options. Here under the fields tab by the top where it says close, that's where you can add additional fields. So like I've added things like pool, you can add, you know, senior communities in here. So you can search those, special features, spa. There's your senior community, roof type, right? So you can add all those features in there. If we just click it like garage spaces and hit add, now it's going to add that. And then we just hit save. Now, when I scroll down to the bottom, it's got garage spaces down here at the bottom. Okay, so you can add a bunch of searches and criteria in there and hit close. Now, if I'm like, well, I want more properties than that, we want to look anywhere, we can zoom out, and now it's going to show us properties that match that criteria in Dixon, wherever is showing up on the map. Now, if I want to zero that out, I can either search by city again here, and I could go like Vacaville. Now, keep in mind the difference here is like when I plug in Vacaville, it's going to pull out in the country too. It's smart enough to look at like what the mailing address is or what the physical address is versus not. The other option that I can do is I can, so after I'm done with my search criteria, sorry, I just hit close to make that window go away. You can zoom in and out down here at the bottom. And then we can also draw. So if we're like, man, I really want like, they want Vacaville and Dixon, but they kind of are willing to go Winters too on this side. Maybe they want everything between the 80, the 505, and the 128. We could go draw, and then you have options of circles, pencil, square. So circle is going to make a circle. Pencil, you're just going to click and drag it around to whatever that is that you want. The square obviously draws like a square or a rectangle only. Or you have this polygon, which is the triangle with the dots. That's the one I use most of the time. That allows you can click here, click where you want the next point. So we can just follow that highway along, come up, follow the 128, and then make a shape. Okay, and then it's going to eliminate everything else. Now keep in mind that if I go like this with that shape, it's still only going to show me the properties that I can see on the map, even though there's ones inside that shape. The other option that you have is, let's go draw and then circle. Let's say that I make a circle right here. They don't like this area in the middle because that's where the fires always hit. So they're like, Amy, we want all that area, but we don't want this area in this block. You could do that. And then we come up here to edit it. And then in the circle one, I can hit exclude. And now it's going to pull the listings inside of my polygon, but not inside that circle. Okay, so that's a good way that if somebody's like, man, I want all of Vacaville, but I don't want this one specific area, then you could eliminate that area from their search by using these shapes and polygons and such. Okay, you can click on these listings. It'll pull up the details. And then if we want more information, we click again and it'll pull it over here to the left and give us more details on that property. You can also check this box, which will then keep it on the map. Once I've checked something, even if I take the map and it's no longer showing, that property will still show up on any reports or anything that I bring up because I checked the box. Okay. If I want to see, if I'm like, Amy, that's really lame, like clicking on all these dots and that one's got a 3, that means there's 3 properties in there that are included. If I click on it, it zooms in. Now it's got these 3 properties and then you're like, Amy, why is one yellow? Well, I'll show you here in a second. Okay. So now if I go hold on, we're going to zoom back out. Oh, they changed it. All right. So here where it says map report, I'm going to click on that. Nope. hold on. It usually lets you toggle between, oh, I know why. All right, so now that I've set up that search, I know why it won't let me look at those listings because I'm setting up a search for a client. So we're gonna uncheck this one real quick. All right, so we were setting up the search. Once you've set it up, we're gonna hit save. Search name, your dream homestead, market watch. No, we'll go into that later. And then we're gonna hit save. That's gonna save it to the client. Close. Now, oh here, add listings to prospects cart. That's what we're looking for. They change these buttons every once in a while. So here we go, and we're gonna hit update. So this is the prospects cart. It's gonna pull all those listings in here. We're just gonna hit update. And then it's gonna take us actually to the cart and give us, here's the invitation for the portal. So this is them being able to view those listings and then also being able to sort those. So you can send it now or send later. And then here's the list report of those properties. So this gives you a little easier way to do it. Once I'm inside this client portal, I can like click on this listing and see that it's a coming soon. And then from here, you can go options. You can go move to saved, move to agent recommended, move to rejected. So if you were talking with a client and they're like, oh, that one on Wyckoff, I don't really like that one. I don't like that area. You can go options and you can go move to rejected. They could also log into their portal and do the same thing. And notice it shows up as agent rejected right here with a 1, not client rejected. I could also, so now if I go to the next one. I can come in here to options and I can go, hey, we want to move this one to saved. They liked that one. So maybe if I was setting up a showing for them later this week, I could move that to saved, or they might have already done it. Or if well, I'll show you that one here in a second. There we go. So now if I go back to list, now you see that I've got, it's going to keep doing this because I haven't sent that client portal invitation. I've got 6 new listed. I've got 1 in the saved cart and 1 in the agent rejected cart. So if I click on saved, it's going to show me all the properties that have been moved to save either by myself or by those clients. So you can see what properties they've saved. Any questions about navigating the client portal?
I have a question about when you were on the map in the search criteria, I think. There was one part where it showed like if you wanted to click on, I think, single family homes or like 2 houses on a lot. Can you show me how you got there again?
Yeah. I'll show you here in just a second. I'll go back into the map search.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. From if you were inside this contact, right? If we went to contacts and prospects and pulled up this contact again, this is going to show, oh, here's their, it should show, but that's right, they moved it up here. Here's where it shows their search, and it saved that one twice. So I'm just going to uncheck this box to turn this one off. I could also delete the duplicate. I don't know why it duplicated it, but, and then we'd hit, oops, save. Yes, delete that search. So it'll show you whatever searches are set up, and it will show you if they created one. And then here inside of this, you can see, like, we can look at this one, and this is the prospects cart. So this would be like newly matched. This would be, I don't even, agent recommended, client saved, client rejected, and agent rejected. So it'll show you those. It also show you when the invitation was sent, or the last time they were in the portal, or if they've never been in the portal. And then they can also send messages, so you can see that information here as well. If you want to go into their cart, it's really easy. You just click on one of the numbers inside of these, and it'll pull up their search again for you and open up their portal so you can see what's in there. Okay, so that's kind of how you navigate through the client portal in here. I do feel like RealScout's just a little cleaner to navigate through, but this one's a more thorough search because it does pull up the coming soons, and it pulls up multiple counties with a fairly in-depth search. So the question was inside the map search. So to go, you can do a map search from anywhere. So it doesn't have to be inside the client portal. So let's say I go into searches, I can go interactive map is where we were at. So you can go back into that interactive map search at any time. Here's the search criteria is up here on your upper right-hand corner underneath map report is where you have search criteria. And then the single family residence, you go property type, you have to click on residential to get the single family. If I don't click on this, if I leave this open for all types of, oh, I have to select one. So you're going to select residential. And then the subtype is going to be where those single family homes and the 2 homes on lots were under the property subtype.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. So here's you, if you're looking for a mobile home, manufactured home, halfplex, townhome, right? You can, like I said, you can click more than one. So maybe we only want 2 houses on lot, 2 or 3, multiple houses on lots, but we don't really want multi-family, which would be a different type of setup. You could do that. Now, keep in mind here, remember I told you it would show you what's on the map. So it's showing me what's on my window here. And I can toggle between, if I want to see these really easily without having to click on each dot, I can just come over here to displays. It wouldn't let me do this on the last one because I was setting it up as a contact search, but because I'm just doing a regular map search, I can go displays and go one line grid. And then it'll take me from the map search. It'll pull those properties that I could see on that map over here into my one line grid, which makes it a little easier to kind of scroll through the properties. From here, I can click on one and I can just scroll through each property. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit more organized that way.
I like the map search. I don't like looking at properties on the map. So I usually pull them up on the map and then I swap over to this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if I wanted to revise criteria or go back to the map, I could do one of 2 things. I could click over here on display again, and I could go map view of all listings, or I could go revise criteria, which is going to take me back to that map search. And then I can go in there and edit it or change it and then go back to that one line grid. So it allows you to kind of toggle back and forth, which is fun. Any other questions?
Nope, I think I'm good.
None for me.
Perfect. You can set up multiple searches for your clients. So you can go back in there and add additional searches. You would just go into contacts and prospects, find that prospect, and then add another search down there towards the bottom where it showed their first listing alert. The other thing that you can do on the map search, just so you know, because I really like this, is we can go under layers here. And you can pull lots of really beneficial information from the layers. So it's something worth going in there and kind of playing with. Maybe if it's going to show up today. Doesn't like me today. Just waiting. All right. Well, we're waiting for that to participate. I don't know why it's not participating, but we'll come back to that here in a second. You can also, let's say I went in here and created this search and then I was like, oh man, I was supposed to save that to I was supposed to do that inside of my prospect searches because this was one for them. We can go in here and hit prospecting once I've got my search set up. Here's where I can add this listing to what prospect's cart. So it allows me to select that prospect. I can create a new prospect from here. So if I haven't saved them before, I can create them in this way. And then you can, do you want it newly matched or agent recommended? That's where those listings are going to go. And then you're going to hit add, right? Add listings to prospects cart. This one's just going to add the listings versus if I want to add the whole search to the prospects cart, I would come down here to add search and hit add. And here it's going to take that search. You're going to name it multi-gen homes and hit submit. You're going to name it. Now it's going to pull those listings over. I'm going to hit update. And now it's added those. Send later. Once you send this client invitation out, it won't ask you to do it again. And it automatically check marks those new properties that you brought over into the newly matched category. So I've added that search and those listings into their cart. So that's another way to set up multiple searches. So now if I click on my name here and go down, now it's got multi-generational homes and your dream homestead set up as the searches. Okay, and you can turn those on or off really easy. We just click the little button. Now that search is turned off and no longer finding properties. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. We just hit save to update that. So that's how to add if you were doing a search, or you started with a search, you wanted to add it to another prospect that maybe even isn't in your system yet. That would be one way to be able to do that. If I go back to my home dashboard too, just so you know, there's a little option down here where it's going to say your recent searches. So it's got this map search. Let's say that I did an open house and I wanted to save it to multiple prospects that came through my open house. So I just created one and added that client. I can come back in here to recent searches, pull up that map search again, or pull up that standard search. It's going to pull those same homes. It's got 7 mapped properties. They're just not magically showing up because my BAREIS is dysfunctional currently. I can go back into prospecting again. I can save it as a new prospect, and I can add that name in there and hit save, and then it'll pull up that prospects window and set it up for auto prospecting. So you could save this search to multiple people. Or if you were doing a search and you're like, oh my gosh, that property is perfect for those clients. Let's see if I can get some properties to show up. It's probably going to log me out because I'm going to hit refresh, but that's all right. We'll come back to it. See if that gives me my functionality back again. There we go. All right. So let's say we're looking at properties and we're like, oh my gosh, this one would be perfect for that client. And it's just outside of Vacaville. It's really winter, so I don't think it's showing up in their search. We can check that box, and then we can come up here and hit prospecting. I can just add that listing to their cart, which would then add that specific one without saving the search itself, just that listing. Okay, so that's one way to add things into people's carts as well. All right, let's see if it'll participate with layers now. Look at that. All right, so layers. So I just clicked, it only shows up in the map search, interactive map. You click layers. It's got some cool things in here. So like I could pull up parcels and click the box, and now it pulls up all the parcel lines for me. Isn't that cool? So now you can see kind of where that property lies, what the parcel map looks like. It does it for in town too. I could pull up the acres. I made it mad. I clicked too many times. It'll zoom in if it needs you to zoom in for something to show up. It'll do that on its own. So that's why it's just zoomed in. So now if I find those parcels, it'll show me like this one's 19.93 acres. Let me zoom in on do this. I think this one will take me in town. There we go. All right, so here's what in town looks like. So again, it'll show you that. And then if you zoom in close enough, it'll show you the lot size because I selected on layers for the parcel acres. You could pull up parcel dimensions and it'll show you what the measurements of the parcels are. Pretty cool. You're like, Amy, why would I need that? It's people randomly ask me for things like, oh, do you know how long our front lot line is? Yeah, I do. It's 63 feet. You can also pull in here under hazards. Here's where you could pull in the FEMA flood data for flood zones. You could pull in the state fire hazard responsibility, which shows you the fire zones. Hold on, it's moving really slow today, so I have to be really patient. Give me just a second. All right. Let me find an area with flood zones. No, here. This little purple stripe, that would be a flood zone because it follows that little river. If I click on the flood zone, it'll tell me that it's a zone A. Oh, hold on. Tells me it's zone A, and if you're like, what's zone A? It's SFX or SFHA, no base flood elevation provided. So it's probably not in a flood zone. Okay. You can look at those flood zones definitions. If you wanted to exclude that from the search, okay, so like maybe, hold on just a second, we can go. Okay, we're going to zip over to this road over here in Vacaville, where there's lots of different flood zones in existence. So this area here, the purple, oh, so the purple does need flood insurance. This would be your flood insurance zone here, this purple. And maybe you're like, we don't want that. So you could come down here and you could say exclude from search. And now it's going to exclude that zone from the search that you clicked on. You have to click on each one individually. So if you've got somebody that's like, I don't want to be in a flood zone, you can exclude those out of your search. Okay, we also pulled in the fire hazard map. So if we come outside here, let's go layers. I'm going to take the flood data off now that you've seen that. And even after I take it off, it still excludes those areas. We're gonna zoom out. So now I've got the fire hazard zones on there. So here are your fire hazard zones for high, moderate. If there's any areas that are very high, it'll show those fire hazard zones on the maps as well. Okay, so just some fun things you can do with the layers. You can go in there and kind of play with that one as well. You could add like transit routes to the map. Now it's got like the bus routes. Maybe you got somebody that doesn't have a car, so they need the bus. Maybe you want where the schools are at, public elementary schools. Now it throws those onto the map. So maybe they want to be close to a school or maybe not close to a school. So there's all sorts of cool things you can do with the layers on these maps. All right, any additional questions before we finish up for today?
No.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you guys have a good grasp now of kind of how to set up those searches. And like I said, we will be rolling out some Boomtown trainings as well so that we can work through Boomtown together and get acquainted with that one. So be looking for those to come up, and then I'll be back next week. We'll be starting, I think we start our seller week, our listing month next week, because I think we're going to be into May. So stay tuned for that. The new schedule will be coming out for May. And thanks for joining me today. Oh, make sure you log your attendance. The link is in the chat. If you open up the chat, you can click on that to log your attendance. And thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I will see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Yep.